All right, Taalik, you can go ahead and do your thing.
All righty. Yes, everyone. Good afternoon, and this is your soul brother Taalik, as you know, who's the co-host here with our number one soul brother Angel Snub 7 from this platform today, and our topic is going to be Motown legend Stevie Wonder moving to Ghana. Okay, so this is the situation that I'm going to present today, and this is the situation: is why should Stevie Wonder even have to go to Ghana? You know, because of reports that been put out in the media that he's moving because of the racial injustices that continues on taking place in America, and that he's willing to take his grandchildren along with him so they could be protected from this racial injustices going on here in America. And you know, I don't want to waste time with criticizing the brother for what he's doing, because of the fact that at this moment, in this time presently, we as indigenous Black Americans are not in the position, you know, to have a political system or any other kind of system put in place where all indigenous Black Americans, including Stevie Wonder himself, can be protected from the racism and the corruption that goes along with this racism here in this country. And I must say that if we would come together and get with this Mississippi campaign, you know, that deals with our platform that's really called Operation Exodus Mississippi, then, you know, people like Stevie Wonder with his status, whether they're famous or not, but with his wealth and financial status, wouldn't have to do that. They would have a safe haven like Mississippi to come to, just like the rest of our 44 plus million indigenous fellow Black Americans, whether we're in New York, California, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, or wherever we are, would have, you know, the option to, you know, make our way to a safe haven, like Mississippi, which would be a state that we would control, and then which would lead us to controlling other places like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, South Carolina, and the list goes on. But on that note, however, I must say that right now we are in a situation where we are, you know, open for slaughter. There's no protection for indigenous Black Americans. Like I spoke about yesterday in our live podcast that we did on Liberia, you know, that we, you know, we don't have no protection. Even the immigrants and illegal immigrants at that, who comes from south of the border into this country every day, at least they do have legal protections more than we do, which is called sanctuary cities, which protects them from the federal government having their way with them. You see what I'm saying? But we don't have no protection at all as indigenous Black Americans. And we've been here hundreds of years, longer than these immigrants have. And, you know, like I said, we need protection at this point. because there is none for us. And that brother Charles Brew, is that his name, Brother Taalik?
Charles Blow.
Charles Blow. Yes, who wrote this book concerning the similar, initial ideal that we're speaking from the Mississippi campaign platform is definitely correct. And I intend on buying this brother's book if his book is sold at Barnes and Noble, which is a local store that we have here in town where I'm at. And if his book is on sale there, I will pick it up. But however, out of the acknowledgement and respect that because of the fact that this brother shares the same basic ideal that we have in wanting true freedom, justice, and equality for all 44 plus million indigenous Black Americans. And so, and in fact, we should connect with that brother. We should at least try to anyway, because these white people are getting on to our plan, obviously, while they're identifying other places around the country where many indigenous Black Americans are being, driven out of. They're going to be doing the same thing eventually in the South, and we can't let that happen, So, because then at that point, we'll be in deserted land somewhere, because we already don't have any type of home base to where we can control and conduct our own and have control over conducting our own daily affairs and governance as a people, which we should have had done by now a long time ago. But because of the fact that when our ancestors who came right out of slavery attempted this same ideal that we're bringing to you from the Operation Mississippi campaign platform, they were driven out of the South due to the terrorism by the racists during the Jim Crow era of that time. And that's why they wasn't able to complete that mission. But see, we're in a better position than they are to complete that mission, and so we have to, what I'm saying, come together. We have to put our differences to the side. We have to, right now at this time, completely forget about what we disagree on and focus completely what we agree on so that we could get down to the business of taking control of a couple of them states or even the whole South if possible, so that we can have a place where our people can come to for protection. Just like the Jews could go to the state of Israel, just like, when they get tired of America, just like the Chinese could go back to China if they get tired of America. You know what I'm saying? We can have a place finally to go to, And this is what this is about at this time, because we don't have no land, because we don't have no control of a state, of course, and no sanctuary that would, be a safe haven for us, our women and children as well. We're just, like I say, open for slaughter. And so we have to stop being focused on our disagreements and focus on what we agree with and move from there. Simple as that. Just like I talked about with someone yesterday, that when the European colonists came to North America, they didn't agree on a lot of things, which we've discussed from this platform before. They didn't agree with a lot of things. And today, the Caucasians in this country still don't agree with each other on everything, but they do have a common strong unity bond like they did then when the colonists came here. and colonized the land that's called North America today. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, they've been in control over 200 years because of this. You see what I'm saying? So we have to, apply that same basic ideology to get our, share of what they call the pie, and that'll be one way also for us to take our reparations back, since it's not going to be given to us, as most of us should be able to see by now anyway. And of course, we have to understand this. We're in a very serious time as a people. Just like the brother a week ago that got gunned down by some racist cops in California over the issue of jaywalking. Yes, over jaywalking. And of course, our brothers and sisters throughout America need to understand that we don't need to be acting ignorant, when we're being confronted by these racist cops. We need to handle ourselves in the appropriate way to prevent us from getting shot or killed. But however, if we can get control of a state and maintain a safe sanctuary for ourselves, then we won't have to worry about at all being confronted with them type of issues anyway. You see what I'm saying? So, with that said, we have to understand this, that it's time for us to come together. Now, I wasn't planning on doing all the talking because I got two other co-hosts here, on this platform today. So, starting with our number one soul brother, Taalik, Ibn'rad, who y'all best know as Angel Snup 7, the number one soul brother. I will allow him to take the mic, and then the brother, our elder Dr. Omar Shamsuddin, could go right after him. So, brother Angel Snup 7, it's your turn to have a say on the mic regarding this topic we're on today.
Well, I don't mind if brother Doctor is ready. He can go ahead and give his spiel. Are you ready, brother?
Yes, sir. Well, brother, yes, let the brother go. Yes, the brother Dr. Omar Shamsuddin. Yes, sir. It's your turn. You could speak then. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Greetings to everybody. It is really it's a shame that our beloved brother Stevie Wonder has to even entertain the idea of having to move away from America to Ghana. And I understand where our beloved brother is coming from, because he has really exemplified what I think that a lot of our well-to-do entertainers, people whom have forged ahead as individuals and obtained status, wealth, etc. That even with all of that, they feel that they still can't get the honor and respect that they are due for the sacrifices and the imagination that they have exemplified in forging ahead and becoming one of the, I like to call them, miracle workers. Because whenever we we, as individuals, talk about indigenous ex-slaves here in this country, can forge ahead through all of the opposition that we confront here and reach a certain status in life. And even after all of that struggling, after all of that visionary example that they have exemplified, they still can't stand up and be a man, or can't stand up and be a woman. So I understand the frustrations that they may have. That a so-called white man or white woman living in a trailer park, or even a bum on the street, can get more dignity just for being white. So I understand the struggle that our beloved brother Stevie Wonder is facing, is confronted with. You know, it's rough. It's rough on me as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand what he's going through, and what others from amongst us who have forged ahead and attained a certain status go through, that they can't get the respect, and they can't see in the future how their children and children's children will fare well in this country. I understand that, and I understand that to the utmost. And I respect Brother Stevie Wonder's position to want to find that peace and that dignity, but not only for him, but for his grandchildren. That is an honorable gesture, an honorable move on his part. And I really, 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 really do respect it. What I would hope is that we could some kind of way get in touch with him and share with him this idea of Exodus, Mississippi. That there is a way that he can get the honor and respect for himself, the honor and respect for his children, and the honor and respect for his grandchildren, right here in this country. It is an idea that is here. It is an idea that is open and ready for the taking. So I know I suggested yesterday, Brother Taalik, that we should get in touch with the brother that wrote the book. I beloved brother that wrote that book about Exodus. He said moving to south, our people moving down south,
Mm-hmm.
back to the land from which we sojourned from, and went north and went out west and went out to the Midwest. That there is an opportunity right here in America for us to claim our dignity in a country where at least the law is somewhat designed to allot us a certain amount of protection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's the situation in Ghana. As we spoke yesterday, I don't know what the situation is in the so-called African continent. If those same protections are there, or will we be stepping out of the pot into the
Mm-hmm.
But I would hope that there is a way that we can get in touch with Brother Stevie and at least present this idea, because he has the status
Mm-hmm.
and the ear of the people. It's like when Brother Stevie Wonder, when they was talking about getting a birthday, a national holiday for Dr. King. It was Brother Stevie Wonder who got in front of that particular movement and even wrote a song and pushed
Mm-hmm.
until the government had no choice but to honor Dr. King's birthday and make it a national observance. So it might behoove the like minds that are behind this exodus of our people from the northern part of the country and from the western part of the country to down south to get in touch with Brother Stevie and pitch this idea, because it is possible he could become the face of the idea.
Mm.
And a lot, and because he already have the respect and honor of black people, whereas we see him as a musical genius. So it might behoove us to reach out to Brother Stevie, because, as you had stated yesterday, Brother Taalik, is that, hey, there are Caucasians now, white people, so-called white people now, who are entertaining this idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to mastermind and put together a program to expedite this idea quicker. You know, so that it can thoroughly saturate within the black community, the so-called black community, and we can go ahead and get things in place. Because if we don't move expeditiously, then what will happen is that the white people will solidify their hold on the South. Right now, it's not a big deal to them, mm-hmm, because their focus is elsewhere. But the mere idea that a white person attempted to get attempted or got in touch with you about this idea, we have to expedite things quicker. We have to notify our people of the importance of this. And I can't think of. I'm for getting in touch with the brother that wrote that book, but I don't even think that he could move this thing as quick as a brother like Stevie Wonder could.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that Brother Stevie Wonder could also bring on a lot of other musicians and so-called elites of our people to get behind this idea. And trust me, it is something that we need to get on top of right away. We don't have the luxury of waiting to make this thing happen. We have to get on this right away, while nobody is really focusing on down south.
Mm-hmm.
You know, brother Stevie Wonder could literally create himself an oasis in Mississippi through acreages of land help create a solid community that would allow protection for his family, his grandchildren, and for a whole lot of more of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy, you know, to see this idea and to envision it really, 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 really taking off.
Mm.
But we have to be astute, as the white people are that own big companies. They understand the importance of advertisement, of advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go out and they will find a celebrity to push their advertisement. And they know how not just to put it out there, but to focus it. And that's what I suggest. It is only a suggestion. I suggest that we get on top of this right away. Now, Stevie Wonder might not be open to changing his mind about going to Ghana. And hey, look, we have to honor our beloved brother's wishes. But we can at least suggest to him that he become a face. Because I guarantee you that's what the people in Ghana are doing.
Mm.
They're making him a face to advertise to us to move to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that Stevie Wonder's heart is still with our people here in this country.
Of course, yes.
But it's just that there has not been offered, hopefully, a better option than Ghana. So if he want to buy a vacation home in Ghana, please go ahead and buy it. But we want his focus here in America. Brother Taalik, I'm going to stop right there.
Okay.
And maybe we'll come back later on and discuss if there's any questions that anyone would have. We can discuss this more in depth, because this is just an outline. Believe me. You know, there is so much that we can do. So thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Go ahead, brother, if you have anything to say, Taalik.
All right. Well, listening to our brother Talib and our brother Dr. Omar, I really didn't have too much else to say. I took down a few notes, so I'm going to offer my little 2 cents on the conversation. And this is very important. I'm very sure many of us have seen either this scenario or one like it. And maybe you have even been involved in it yourself. A rabbit being chased by a fox. A rabbit has lots of confidence when being chased by a fox if it has somewhere to run. In a lot of instances, you have rabbits, they're not just running for no reason. They're running because they know that there's another hole. There's some escape route that they can go to. But what if you're being chased by a fox? Or a drug dealer you owe money for drugs for, or some cop that you're trying to get away from, and there's no place to run. What do you do? How do you feel? That's the situation, the so-called Negro, those of us born in America, that's what we face in this country. We have nowhere to run. We are the rabbit we don't have an escape route. So whatever anybody wants to do to us, it gets done because we have nowhere to go. We can't go to the United Nations. There was a brother I heard called Malcolm X. That was his agenda. He wanted to take the problems and the suffering of Black Americans and take the issue and complain to the United Nations, but somebody decided to put a bullet to him. And since Malcolm X, nobody has tried to go to the United Nations. And of course, some of our pro-Black type folks, that ain't nothing but white people or whatever, blah, blah. Anyway, that ain't going to do no good. Everything we do don't do no good. So why not try that too? Because whatever you're doing, that ain't doing no damn good. That's what kills me about this pro-blackity black stuff. What Dr. King done, that ain't no good. What so-and-so did, that ain't no good. But you look at what you call yourself have done. It ain't done no good either. Still in the same position. We might feel good. I mean, Black power, blackity black folks are some of the greatest orators on the planet. Make you feel real good. But they don't have a track record of solving our problem. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Because proper leadership dictates that we have a place to run to. Because you can't run to the cracker. He's the one you're running away from. So where are we going to run to? So now we have somebody like our brother Stevie Wonder, who's gotten to the point, he's been running all over the United States and dealing with the different issues. And like our brother Omar said, and I was growing up during that time, and I know and I can bear witness, it was Stevie Wonder in the forefront of the fight to get a Dr. King holiday. That's who it was, no doubt. And the last state to fall was Arizona. And then you had a group like Public Enemy that took their fame to Arizona and pressured the state of Arizona to give Dr. King a holiday. That was, I believe, that was the last state to fall.
That is correct.
So, with all this going on, you would think that Stevie Wonder would, okay, you know, I'm cool. Still not cool. Stevie Wonder, a blind man who can't actually see these things, he's determined that it is in the best interest of himself and his family, I got to get out of here. Because there's nowhere to run to. But also he's not considering, well, in his case, that's a wise decision probably, because he has money. And he can go anywhere in the world that accepts money. Now, some places you can go to don't give a care about your money. They don't give a damn about your fame. Who the hell is a Stevie Wonder? They don't care. But of course, he's not going to go to a place like that. He's going to go to a place where he can continue to live sort of comfortable and to the manner that he's accustomed to. And that's what Ghana is. Ghana is a place where they know how we like to live, and they try to fashion it so you can come there and spend your money. Matter of fact, just a few years ago, it was 2018, I believe it was, a few years ago, 19, they had this big spectacle called the Return to Ghana, the return to the motherland, back to Africa, the 400 year of Africans being enslaved. And everybody focused on Ghana. So you had Jay-Z and Beyonce, and you had Tiny and T.I. and all these different celebrities run over there. Oh, my ancestors, I want to go return to the motherland. You returning to a place you've never been. You can't prove and show that not one of your relatives came from Ghana. Not one. And so they go to Ghana. Dr. Boyce Watkins went, and some other high-profile YouTube celebrities. They got on the planes and buses. No, it can't get on the bus, but they got on the boats and the ships and the planes and run to Ghana. I saw a sister with a video. She's crying. My ancestors was in that place right there. I can feel their suffering. No, sister, you can't. You can't feel their suffering. That's just some emotional, religious buffoonery, rhetoric. You can't feel nobody. You have no idea. You just know that that's a place where people were supposed to be staged, to be put on ships, to be enslaved, going to the islands or to Brazil. Or you don't even know if these people was even going to America. We don't know that. You can't feel nobody suffering like that. You can't feel. I was in the crazy house for 10 years. So using your logic, you should be able to go to that crazy house and feel my suffering and my crying and all that. You ain't gonna feel nothing. That ain't how things work. You can have empathy and an understanding of what I went through, but you can't feel me. And it's amazing how we feel dead people that we don't know. But we can't feel our mothers and fathers and cousins and sisters and brothers who are alive standing right next to you. You know, when they having problems, we don't feel them. I need $10 to pay my electric bill. You don't feel that. Negro, you need to get a job. That's how you respond to the living. To the dead that you never know, don't know nothing about. Oh, my ancestors, whatever. And so Ghana is not stupid. Ghana, the people, the officials of Ghana have gotten to the point where they know your dumb mindset, and they're going to take it for what it's worth. So these people brought $2 billion to the Ghanaian economy so they can go see some broken down buildings where slaves supposed to be, and return to the motherland. Return to the motherland so they can bring their happy ass right back to America. It ain't been back since. T.I. and Tiny was in Africa, talking about we going to the motherland. Now they right back in Atlanta, and now they facing charges of sex trafficking. Should have kept your ass in Africa. And Jay-Z and Beyonce is back in America. And she's back on stage throwing her dress up so you can see her panties. She didn't stay in Africa either. It was all a show. All entertainment. That's all it was. $2 billion worth of just to be for entertainment to feel good. That's all it was. I'm returning to the motherland. How many people stayed in the motherland? How many people was even offered citizenship to stay there? And above all, the reason why they are embracing you because you bringing them money. Stevie Wonder has money. Go there and don't have any money. Go there and don't have any fame. And see how your motherland treats you. It's not going to be a beautiful thing. I can guarantee you that. It's got some money. What could $2 billion do for us right here on this continent? What could $2 billion do if we were in a position to take control of a state? What we could do to help ourselves in this geographical area that we will build in order to support and benefit the whole 40-some million. We are confused. We don't have proper leadership. We just running around like a rabbit. Don't know what to do. You got a chase foxing you, following you, and you don't know what to do. Just running, trying to escape. That's all we're doing. Run to the east, run to the... There's no definite plan. We just scattered. That's not going to work. And it hasn't worked. Everybody doing something different. We can't do that. Whether we win or lose, we have to have one plan, one purpose, one goal, one vision, and everybody get on that track and we go win or lose. Being scattered is not going to work. Scattered is divided. And what you don't understand, all these different disciplines, all these other different things that all that can be put under one umbrella. Nobody's telling you that I don't like what y'all doing. Because when you look at something like the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam has experience in business, building schools, and a whole lot of getting people off drugs. You can use all that skill. Ain't nobody telling you you can't do that. What I'm saying is that we have to put it all under one umbrella. Understand there's one purpose, one goal, one vision. We are one people. We're not just Muslims. We're not just Kemetic. We're not just Native American. We are this one people under this one umbrella with different ideas, different ways of living, but we one people. Just like if you was a white man American, but I'm Italian, I'm German, I'm French, but they are under one umbrella called the United States of America. We have to learn how to do that. You're not learning that because you continue to carry a slave mindset. You still think like a slave. You're not thinking like a free person. And matter of fact, you're not thinking at all. Being chased like a rabbit. Where do I go to? Just like our brother Omar said, that's good for Stevie Wonder as an individual, but you can't take, and that's what the pro-blackly black Pan-African type people, they are pushing this narrative of Stevie Wonder. Look at Stevie Wonder. He's going to Africa. You're not Stevie Wonder. You're not going to get the same results that Stevie Wonder is going to get because Stevie Wonder is famous. Stevie Wonder has lots of money. You're not going to get the same type of greetings that Stevie Wonder is going to get. And definitely, you're talking about 40-some million trying to go to Africa. That's not going to work. Mathematics tells us that's not going to work. If it was not for these Peckerwoods messing with us, and I did send an email, and if you go to your email, Brother Omar and Brother Talib, I shared the email with those on this platform. I sent an email to that brother that wrote the book, offering his take on taking control of the South. Whether he replies or not, I don't know. But I sent him an email. In fact, he's a New York Times journalist. But this gives us an idea, and I know people hate this because it supports something that we've been talking about from this platform almost 3 years. That's a pipe dream. But here we have a Caucasian person calling me, how y'all doing that? I want to do that too. Now you have this brother who's thinking on the same way. But who was you've never heard no talk about Mississippi until we brought it up on this platform. Now you start to hear people say Mississippi this, Mississippi, Mississippi, because we've been bringing it and been talking this from this platform for almost 3 years. The pipe dream. And sometimes it takes a time for some things to catch on because we are biased and we are prejudiced against new ideas and new strategies. That's part of our problem. We don't want to think different. We don't want to think new. And you really don't understand, as I have said countless times, you really don't understand racism and white supremacy. You really don't understand. You don't really understand what you are dealing with. You're thinking like you are free, like you got something going on. You don't. You are totally helpless. We are in a position in this country right now, if the bad old white man, if the devil, if these people actually was the devil and evil as you claim, they could kill every one of us right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Your little pop pistol or whatever, They don't even have to leave their house. They could send their drones out and blast all of us to smithereens. Cut your water and your gas off. What the hell you gonna do? Nothing. That's the position we're in. We're totally 1,000% helpless. We have nowhere to run. It's like how those Native Americans, how they would chase the buffalo toward a cliff. Once you get toward the edge of the cliff, where you gonna go? Except over the cliff. Because you have nowhere to run, you have nowhere to go. How are you going to get angry at us on this platform because we want to create a place so we can go? A safe haven. Create a place where we can try to have some type of chance of defending ourselves, taking care of ourselves. And you don't like that. But that's what all these blackity black, pro-blackity, go back to Africa, that's what they're supposed to represent. You're not going to, Stevie Wonder is going to go to Ghana to be under the laws of another man. I don't want that. I want to become the law. I want to become the one that make the laws, not the one that always obeying somebody's law. When you come here, you obey the laws that I make for a change. We've been under the laws and the government of others for over 400 years. You should want to be able to create laws unless you're still a slave. So if you're a slave, you're just looking for another slave master. You just don't want it to be the white man. So you go to Africa to find you an African slave master. I don't want to be under the laws of those people. Even Liberia, even though we are related, I don't want to be under the laws because we're different. I don't want to be under their laws, their traditions, and whatever else they got over there. And like Brother Omar said, you don't know what you're doing when you go to the African continent. You could be going from this place to something even more horrible. Because if you actually get out of this utopian belief, fairy tale crap that we've been teaching ourselves about Africa, you will see they don't treat each other beautiful. They don't see themselves as family. All this, they can be very vicious against one another. Some of those African people over there have been fighting each other for centuries, for generations. And that's a fact. Liberia just came through a civil war, 10 years. But that's the place to go. And a lot of their problems is because they started it. It's not a natural disaster. It's because of their wars and fighting. You got people coming in and destroying the farmland and crops so the people can't eat because they fighting and killing each other, cutting off the food sources. That's why they starving. Not because of a drought, not because of flood, because of man-made catastrophes. We should be number 2 in this nation here. So when these immigrants, these Chinese, and all these other suckers that come here, they know they have to deal with the white man, they got to deal with us. But the reason why we're not number 2, if not number 1 in this nation, is because, of course, the oppressor designed laws against us. So I don't want to hear about, well, the Chinese come here and the Africans come here and none of these people had laws. Jim Crow was a law, a lifestyle designed against us for 100 years. Slavery was an institution targeted against us for 300 years. And then you have the black codes, Africans and Asians and all these other immigrants from Europe. None of them suffered the Jewish codes or the Asian codes or a Jewish Jim Crow or African Jim Crow. Nobody. So they come over here and they take advantage of the benefits that we had to fight for. The Asians and the other Europeans or whoever come here. They benefit from our fight and give us nothing and sit around here and laugh at us. You lazy and y'all this and y'all that. And they benefit from our blood, sweat, and tears. Don't you think it's time for us to benefit from our blood, sweat, and tears? We don't have proper leadership because your leadership has sold you out for trinkets, for an extra piece of cornbread on the plate, because they want to live like the oppressor. You can probably go to Farrakhan's house or Jesse Jackson or any of these leaders, and you walk in and all the, just $500,000, $1 million houses. How are you supposed to be a rebel against oppression when you actually benefit from it? I'll tell you this also. And there's a lot of people say, what the white people gonna do? You try to take control of a state of Mississippi. Well, see, this put them on blast. Because if they try to do something, like that brother Charles Blow said in his talk, everything that we do in the Mississippi campaign is constitutionally legal. We're not breaking no laws of this country. So if you have the federal government or anybody to come and try to stop us from doing what we, under the law, can do, it really puts them on blast and show them as the hypocrites and as the devils and as Satan, as the wicked people they really are, because here you are, y'all black people don't do this, y'all lazy and you're criminals. Well, now we are putting ourselves in a position to help ourselves. We are actually reaching out to our people, the criminals. We want our criminals not to stay in jail. Have our people come out and let them help. Find something. Even lazy people can do something to benefit. They might not work the way you want them to work, but they can do something. And that's what we want to inspire. And maybe they won't be so lazy when they see that they are actually producing something. That's the reason why a lot of people don't want to do nothing. For what? Not producing nothing. But if they can see that this vision is coming to a reality, I'm not talking about no 100 years from now, 500 years from now, 2,000 years from now. No, you can see it becoming a reality right in front of your face. As soon as you watch your little baby put that seed in the ground, that's the beginning. And it gets better and better. Is all this going to happen easy? No. You must be willing to sacrifice. If we have to live in a tent for the next 5 years or so to get everything then we live in tents. We must be ready to sacrifice and stuff. If we have to live without electricity and gas for the next 5 years and go back to riding a damn horse, so be it. Whatever it takes in order to get the job done. Somebody, when these people came to America to establish this continent, it was not easy for them. A vast majority of Europeans that came here, they died. They died from disease. They died from hunger. They practiced cannibalism. Yes. It was not easy. You're not going to get your liberation easy. And you shouldn't want it to be easy. You want to earn it. Because if you don't earn it, you have no respect for yourself. And nobody respects you. You free, but somebody else gave it to you. The Emancipation Proclamation, whatever, and some sucker wrote on a piece of paper, I hereby declare, who the hell are you? You can't give me freedom. That's my right by nature to be free. What the hell you talking about? You gonna write it on a piece of paper. Take what's yours. You keep talking about reparations. You cannot fight these people physically, but you can deal with them mentally. And running around here talking about Black Power Hotel, and I read all these books on metaphysical, that's not going to help you none. Make you feel good, but it's not going to help you none. You have to focus on the right knowledge and act appropriately. If you're not acting appropriately, if you don't have the right knowledge, nothing's going to happen for you. And you got all these people, they know they don't have the answer. They know they don't know what they're doing. They just sit around, give you a big speech, and take your money to do what? And when I talk about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I'm not trying to degrade or demean or make mockery. I'm just telling you how it is. This is a man who have taken in maybe over $1 billion some over the 40-year period that he's been working and has little to show for it. And that's just a fact. And those who are obsessed with him, the little something that they can show, that's good enough. That's not good enough. If I invest $40 with you, I expect to see at least $35 or $30, in return, if not more. If the investment that we have given to these Black YouTubers and the Black Power movement or whatever, if this was Wall Street, we all be broke. You're not getting no return on your investment. But because you like Farrakhan, you like young Pharaoh, you like folks. And if y'all want to like and take care of grown-ass people, that's your business. That don't do nothing for you. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in his teaching, why do the Negro love the white man? Because the white man give them nothing. And that's why we like Farrakhan. That's why we like Tariq Nasheed. That's why we like all these people. Because they give you nothing. And if you're satisfied with nothing, why the hell you sit around complaining? Because you like doing that too. Complaining. You actually like the condition. Because those who don't like that condition, change it. If you take a dump in your underwear, you're going to change them underwear because you don't like the feeling. Having a dump, running around here walking and you squishing around, you got to change. Now, there are those, and I know because I live with them. They can take a dump and have no problem. You'll see the doo-doo stain in the back of their pants, and you'll see the urine, like, what the hell? They don't care. They ain't tripping off of it. But somebody in their right mind, and even a baby, when a baby take a dump in a diaper, the baby get to bawling and crying, you need to get this off me. Change. I won't change. It's nasty. So if your condition is as nasty and dirty and disgusting as you claim it is, then why don't you change? Are you waiting for somebody to change it for you? Or you don't know how? It's one or the other. And if you don't know how, get off your high horse and let those who say, I know how to do this, won't you give them a chance? Stop being so biased and prejudiced. Hear them out. Give it a chance. You gave all this other stuff a chance, and it's not giving you nothing. Give a new mindset. Give a new strategy a change. Again, not asking you to stop being a Muslim, stop being a Christian, or whatever it is, whatever you're doing, because I don't care. That's not my concern. Our concern is simply putting ourselves in a better position in this nation so we don't have to be like Stevie Wonder, get so frustrated, we got to run somewhere else when we deserve to be here just like anybody else. Our ancestors fought and they bled and suffered to be here. Why should you run to Africa or anywhere else, when you people, our people have paid the price to be here. You deserve to be here. I ain't running nowhere. I don't mind going over there and we can establish something somewhere else. Nothing wrong with that. But my Mecca, my Medina, my Washington, D.C. is right here. And our Mecca, our Medina, our Washington, D.C. can be the state of Mississippi. And that grows, we could end up controlling the whole South. Our people could have, like our people could have done over 100 years ago. So, again, just like our brother Omar said, I'm not mad at Stevie Wonder. I perfectly understand. But I would hope that maybe we could contact Brother Stevie and present this Mississippi campaign to him. He's not a dumb person. And Stevie Wonder has an advantage over us. I said this in my conclusion. I'm going to pass the mic. Stevie Wonder has an advantage over us. I watched the interview with him last night. Stevie Wonder can't see color. He can't see black man. He don't know what that is. He can't see white man. He don't know what that is. He can't see Asian. He don't know what it is. One of the problems that we have with us is we can see these things. And it's a detriment to our development because we caught up in racism. And we can't see people for who they are because we look at their skin color first. And we need to get out of that. That's why I said soul brothers and sisters, because you can be a soul brother and you don't have to be a black man. It's a matter of being. Has nothing to do with your skin color or the melanin and your third eye and all this other stuff that we all caught up in, because we become racist just like the oppressor. We become just like the crap that put us in the condition that we find ourselves in. Not everything, you can't even talk to nobody. It's always a black thing. It's always a white thing. It's always the Asians. It's always the Indians. It's always some race bull doo-doo. And personally, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's a sickness. So Stevie Wonder, he don't trip off of that because he don't know what black is. Never seen it. What is a white man? He don't know. He can tell the difference in the nature of people, but he's blind. He can't see these things. And he has an advantage. That's why I would love to get with Stevie Wonder, because he would help me not to see these things either, because I don't want to see them. We're caught up in this race garbage. We caught up in these isms. Then these poor ladies, the women around the earth, they are denied their true potential because men hinder their development. Prejudice against the female. Prejudice against mama. How are we supposed to advance and you're against your mama? The one that laid up for 9 months and took care of your ass. And you against her. The only thing she know how to do is breed more men, cook your food in the kitchen, wash your nasty drawers. That's all she know how to do. She has no connection to God. She's basically some kind of work animal. We don't do that here. It's all the same playing field. We understand what a woman can and cannot do. I understand what men can and cannot do. And leadership has nothing to do with gender. Leadership has everything to do with competence. Not because you got a special divine penis, but you're incompetent. The men have been leading the way. And most of you follow your penis. That's why you exploit her. You have no discipline in yourself because your penis is the one that's doing your thinking for you. I got to have Terry. I got to have Cindy, I gotta have Rona. I got to have. Because they will let me, because I'm the brother, I'm the leader, and they just following me as a god, and I exploit that. That's what men, these corrupt men, have done all over the world. So where do I run to? What do we run to, brother and sister? Kemetic? We want to follow the Kemetic people. Okay, where we gonna run to? Where our power at? How can we get power influence? Where we gonna do all these things? And it's thousands of you. It's thousands. It's thousands of Kemetic folks, thousands of Nation of Islam, thousands of Hebrew Israelites. It's thousands of these people. And what are they producing? Nothing. And they're happy with nothing. As long as they can feel good. Then you want to talk about a crack addict. That's all. That's all crack do for a crack addict. Make you feel good. And you happy with feeling good. That's not acceptable here. So if the only thing you want to do is feel good, you can go somewhere else. Because that's not acceptable. I'm not going to clap my hand and praise you and give you unearned credit because you know how to make somebody feel good. So what? We got to do better. And that's the reason why Stevie Wonder's tired of it. And maybe I can find peace somewhere else. I'm going to Ghana. I don't know where I'm going, but I got to get the hell out of here. I can't do this no more. So on that note, I'm gonna pass the mic to the brothers for their conclusions on this particular topic. I'm gonna pass the mic back to our soul brother Taalik.
Yes, sir. And I concur once again with both of you said. You and brother Dr. Omar, and I just want to say that piggybacking off what brother Taalik just said when relating to the situation of us being handed a piece of paper called the Emancipation Bill Act, telling us that we're supposed to be free.
Mm-hmm.
That same analogy, can apply even to those countries in Africa like Ghana, Senegal, Kenya, when many of them countries, and even including those black countries in the Caribbean like the Bahamas and Jamaica, was handed their independence, unlike Haiti, who took their independence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And to this day are still not free. And look, Haiti took their independence from the French. But of course, they're not free because as a result of that, they're still being oppressed by the order of the European powers that be in this world, okay? Including America. But however, what I want to say on that note as well is that, yes, just because we've handed a piece of paper saying that we're free to leave off the plantation and being completely stripped with nothing and left with nowhere to go, that's not freedom either. Just like I was talking to Brother Omar on a private phone call earlier before we got on the live podcast, that we're not free even when we're walking out our houses or apartments, because we have to face racial profiling, constant other targeting from the racists generally throughout this country in America. We're not free even because we have to leave out of our houses and be targeted by each other due to racism and corruption, which impacted that situation as well for us as indigenous Black Americans to constantly keep turning against each other like we do every day in this country, and that's not freedom. That is not freedom. Just like this brother, this soul brother that was recently shot by the police in California, fatally lost his life over jaywalking. And he was just walking out and about, minding his business, and was not breaking no law other than being accused of jaywalking. And how many people jaywalk every day, even in the presence of police, and are not stopped? So that was clearly racial profiling, like me and someone else talked about. And you know, like I said, we wouldn't have to deal with this if we could get on board and take control of our own destiny, like someone by the name of Marcus Garvey would once say, around 100 years ago. You see what I'm saying? And that's very important. We have to take our destiny. Because we don't take our destiny, this is what we're going to keep getting. And we're going to keep getting it every day until we all die. And like I was saying to someone else earlier, before I got on this live podcast, we're going to die just the same way like our ancestors did during chattel slavery, simply as slaves. Even in this present generation, we're just going to simply die a damn slave. We prayed like most of our ancestors did on the cotton and sugarcane fields, and it still ain't got us up out of our slave condition yet. So we're going to simply die as a slave. So all that, you know, and like I said before, I myself have no problem with people, ideology or beliefs, or even if they're into religion. But leave that to the side when it comes to us obtaining our liberation, which is right now more important than ever. And let's get with each other according to what we can agree on. And let's not at all put focus on what we don't agree on.
Right.
Because if we keep putting focus on what we disagree on, which I mean, then we're going to continue on staying divided. And like Brother Taalik said, being a people separated here and there, doing our own thing over here, doing our own thing over there. And that definitely is not going to get us nowhere. And, but to the path of extermination, which we're headed into anyway. And we're not the first, we're not going to be the first people to be exterminated, nor the last. Okay, we saw tens of millions of Native American Indians in the history of this country get exterminated. And it's only, maybe less than 100,000 of them that exist in this country. So don't think it can't happen to us as indigenous Black Americans, because it can. You know what I'm saying? And for those ones in the conscious Black community that's ignorant to that fact, that have all these fantasy ideals that it can't happen because we supposed to be gods or whatever, you know, you can miss me with that. And that ideology, you know what I'm saying, simply ain't gonna work anyway, because these white folks that's in control of this situation do have the power and resources to show you that ideology ain't gonna never work. You see, so like I said before, you know, we need to understand and realize the seriousness of this. And before I pass the mic, also, I want to just say this too, that the reason I'm not going to criticize Brother, the Honorable Stevie Wonder, who happens to be a fellow native Michigandian like myself, you know, and who's a proud fellow native of Michigan who I respect highly. You know what I'm saying? Not only because of his entertainment abilities, but because of his, constant involvement in our people's struggle as indigenous Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like which you and Brother Omar mentioned about the situation with him helping to make it possible so Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday could be recognized as a federal holiday in this country. You know, and he's done other stuff. You know, he was even a part of the same organization I once belonged to called the Nubian Nation, or whatever else they call themselves, that was under the leadership of its incarcerated leader, Dr. Malachi Z. York. A lot of people don't know that about him. Yes, he's always been, you know, a known Christian, you know, observant as far as being in the Christian religion, but he was also a Nubian, a member of the Nubian Nation. Okay, and you know, but anyway, like I said, you know, his brother is highly conscious in his own way, you know, but he's a lot more sincere than a lot of those that I've known in the so-called pro-Black conscious community as well. And you know, he's very known to have a more sincere, you know, character about himself when it comes to him caring for our people. You know what I'm saying? And wanting simply justice, freedom, and equality for our people, like those of us who are like-minded like himself in that manner. And also what I want to say is that I feel his pain and frustration, because a lot of times I've spoken, you know, not directly from this platform, but from the platform on my own channel called Eric Bell, about entertaining the ideal of leaving America. I've spoken on that ideal numerous times, and you could go to my video channel on YouTube called Eric Bell, which I have videos posted on that, okay, where you hear me speaking about that. So I feel his pain. I do, and that's why I'm not criticizing him. But I would still say that we need to change our reality so that he may even want to change his mind about going to Ghana. And even like the brother said, if he don't change his mind about going to Ghana, he could still be the face of a new beginning called Operation Exodus Mississippi. And you know, which secure a safer haven for us right here in this country, where our forefathers and mothers died building, so that these races could benefit off the fruits of their free labor, okay, which is still going on to this very day in this country. And we deserve to also benefit from the blood and sweat of our ancestors' free labor by taking control and maintaining control of some of this land in a few of these states, starting with Mississippi. And even Malcolm X talked about that. See, many people forgot about that. Malcolm X also talked about that. Well, they talk about the fact that he was about to take our case before the United Nations. You know, and we still have to, you know what I'm saying, entertain and actually make that ideal a reality. and not just keep talking about it. We got to put in work and make it happen in that exact manner, so that we could finally be a complete, true people, free people for once and for all, after being in bondage like we still are, and like we still have been for over 400 years, going on 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I must say that, we also have to understand that, just like I said before about the analogy with the African nations and the Black Caribbean nations being given their so-called independence, when in fact they're still controlled politically by their former colonizers.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the same fashion still being controlled by our slave masters here in America, who we've been under for over 400 years, and still have yet no real freedom, especially because we cannot walk about in the streets even as a free people. Yeah, we don't have to have a pass to show that we're free people, or what they used to call the freedmen back during the time of so-called chattel slavery, where we had to carry around pieces to show that we were free, while the rest of our brothers and sisters was on the fields picking cotton. Well, we don't need that, because we still, to prove that we ain't slaves, because we still are slaves, is what I'm saying. And we have to understand that is still the reality today that we are under as indigenous Black Americans in this country. And until we wake up and understand and realize that, we're going to keep getting what we get. Mass incarceration, racial profiling, gerrymandering, police brutality, housing discrimination, job discrimination. We're going to continue facing all that. Racism, along with police corruption against us. We're going to keep facing that continuously. Many of us are going to keep facing getting incarcerated for crimes we didn't commit, as many of our soul brothers and sisters sit in prisons and jails every day across America due to that result. So, with that said, we have to take our own destiny into our own hands and return back to the South, which in the southern states, which our ancestors toiled in their blood and sweat and tears to make this country powerful like it still is today. And we got to get some of that land and control it, along with the politics, so that we can have a safe haven for all of us as 44 plus million indigenous Black Americans. And with that said, I'll pass the mic on to our eldersman, Dr. Omar Shamsuddin. Brother, you could take over and carry us out of here.
Thank you kindly, sir. I guess the important thing to remember is we can do this. That's the important thing to remember. And another thing to remember is that everybody, not just here in America, but even our brothers and sisters in Africa and in other countries around the world, are watching what we do. We have, and don't even know it, been an inspiration for Poland. President Zelensky, they asked him, who was it that And you know who he said it was? The late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. So people are watching us. What we've got to do is stop letting them take our ideas and benefit themselves, and we don't take our ideas and benefit ourselves. That is the problem that we have to confront, is recognizing our greatness, even in our foolishness. We are a great, great people. Even in our enslavement, we are great. What we have to what we should also realize is that after our freedom and the Reconstruction period, the white man turned around and gave himself reparation for freeing his slave. He got reparations for that. Likewise, in Haiti, after the Haitians kicked Napoleon's ass, the French turned around and got over $150 million reparation from Haiti. They're probably still paying it off today. So even in their losing, they find a way to win. And we have to realize that and take on that same mindset. We have to create our own restoration, a reconstruction. We have to take that upon ourselves to do that. Because trust me, nobody else is going to do it for us. It would definitely be an honor to have our beloved brother Stevie partake in Operation Mississippi, or Operation Southern United States.
Mm.
And hopefully we can find a way to make him an ambassador to this project. It might be beneficial to get in touch. Well, Brother Taalik, you said that you've already sent out an email to the brother from the New York Times. You know, it's interesting that the New York Times is sponsoring all of these projects.
Mm.
And in one way or another, they sponsored the 1619 project. And now we have another brother that was working for them, who is also sponsoring Operation Southern United States.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take a look at that. We have to create our own intelligentsia. Just as America has its own intelligence agencies. Because if we're going to navigate our liberation, we have to operate as a nation. And find out where our friends are, and find out where our foes are, our enemies. So that we can make the necessary moves to liberate ourselves. And I'm more for liberation than I am freedom, because we were given freedom, as you brothers so wisely stated, on paper. But we were never liberated, because liberation is something that you got to take into your own hands. Nobody can liberate you. I'm not going to go over and over the same thing. But what I would suggest is this, is that we have to do as our beloved brother from the New York Times did, and put this stuff in writing. Create a book. Because once you get a book, then what they do is they invite you on these television programs. So that you can get better ears, bigger ears, more ears. But we for the time being, we can if the brother is amenable, work with with our beloved brother from the New York Times. But we really should investigate him too. And make sure that he's on the up and up. Just saying. We don't make emotional moves. We make intellectual moves. We make scientific moves. Peace be unto you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's amazing. See, that's why it's more wise to have brains power rather than brain power, because brain power is limited to whatever experience or educational level or thinking of that one brain. When we have brains power, you can cover things that you might not even thought about, because it's true what Brother Omar just said. I enjoy the fact that there is a brother that's talking the way he does, but also at the same time, we're not stupid, because we know from this platform, we've been talking this for 3 years. And now here comes somebody from out of nowhere, and his book is only about 2 months old. And when you read what he say, I haven't read the book, but when you hear what he say, it's almost exactly what we've been talking for the last 3 years. Where was he at? Where was he at during these 3 years? Where are you getting these talking points from? Almost sound like he was listening to our videos, and maybe he has, because this Operation Exodus, this Mississippi campaign, been out here, and you don't know who's listening to these videos for 3 years. And none of my channels have been terminated. So it's not like I put the Mississippi campaign videos out there and then they terminate my channels. I got to raise it back up and all that. A consistent 3 years of putting this message out here. And now here's a brother from out of nowhere, from the New York Times, and he's saying like this is his original idea. I mean, great minds think alike. That's not what I'm saying. And the reason why something like that came to me was because I just simply looked at our history. And that's where it all come from. And anybody could have done that. But he's talking about trying to take over the southern states or take control of the southern states. While we here, I suggest that we concentrate on one geographical area, make it strong, so that then from that place of strength, you can go from that place of strength and spread yourself out. Because when you're talking about just trying to take control of the South and everybody all scattered like that, that's, to me, that's very confusing. And it's not, you have no example, you have no platform to base what you're doing on. But if you do it, just take example, and you're not wasting your resources to see whether this can really work. So you concentrate on one, and if you can get that together, say, oh, well, hell, if it can work here, we know that we can do it elsewhere. And like I said, I don't, you know, when I hear him talk, it sounds like he's been watching our videos. It sure do. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully he will reply, and it doesn't make no difference. As long as we are on the same page, makes no difference. And we understand who and what he is. He's written some other books too, and some other articles, some things that we have to see where he's coming from. But and you know, it's amazing. It makes you want to think. He's talking this Black Power thing. Why are these Caucasian platforms and all these people, why are they, you know, so willing to have him talk about giving, who wants to give Black people power? Why are they so willing, you know, to allow him to talk this on their platforms? It just makes you, just like Arsenio used to say back in the day, things that make you say, you got to think about it. You know, we like Brother Omar said, we do have to be intelligent about this too. But also at the same time, we don't know. Maybe that's, I mean, great minds think alike. So we really don't know.
Yeah, and yeah. Plus, he has the investigative abilities of the New York Times that he can call upon.
Right. Yes,
you know, and
you sure does.
You know, and hey, look, and we respect. It was like with the ADOS movement, right? You had brother Tone and Sister Yvette Cornell. They started that ADOS movement, and then you had the sister from the New York Times who basically stepped in with and did that big layout with the New York Times because she worked there. Okay, and then through her investigative skills, okay, she was able to say to them, look, I didn't watch you at all. I didn't even know you existed. You know, even though she may have, who knows?
Right.
You know, but the idea came from somewhere. You know, and that's cool. I personally, well, I can't say that I didn't come up with the Exodus Mississippi idea. You know, I was thinking about the southern part of the country, but you came up with the Exodus Mississippi idea. So I can understand if a man is protective of his baby. You know, and you know, but I would say that you know, we are wise enough, okay, to take advantage of whatever is given us. You know, it's just like in the martial art of Aikido. Whatever punch you throw, thank you for that weapon. You know, so if they're willing to go out there and put out this exodus to the South, wonderful. But you're absolutely correct, brother Taalik, is that I mean, and the scientists, they always start with a small experiment first, and they perfect that experiment, then they move out. You know, I mean, that's just good common sense. You know, so Mississippi possibly need to be that experiment. You know, and then once we perfect things in Mississippi, then we can move out. Like any business, they first have a idea that they work from, then they expand. So I concur with what you're saying. I yield back, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it doesn't matter really whether the brother watched our videos or he come, you know, he has a mind of his own, and great minds think alike. The good thing about this is him coming out like this helps our position, you know, helps us a lot.
Absolutely.
Because people tell us, oh, it's a pipe dream and blah blah. Well, it's a lot of people coming with these pipe dreams. You know, here's a brother here. His book is number 4 on the bestsellers list now. So you got a brother that's thinking the same way we think, and he has a book out number 4 on the bestsellers list. And he also works for the New York Times. So that's a pipe dream. You know, that's enough, somebody else with a pipe dream. I got Caucasian people calling me, asking me, how should we do this thing? You know, they're interested in pipe dreams too. No, the ones who is the pipe dream are you who continue to do the same loser stuff over and over again and thinking that you're going to get a different result. That's called insanity. So I'd rather be living a pipe dream than be called insane. So on that note, I want to thank the Deacons of Reality and Pedro and those in the chat room, those who have been listening. We had a good audience that was listening. Thank you for all the likes. This is the highest likes we ever got on a video at one time. Wow. I don't know what's up with that. But it's all great. It's all good. The way I look at it is, this is like an avalanche. And things start off slow. But once you get to rolling, it's going to be so much to do. Woo, boy. That's the way I look at it. So on that note, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I do want to come back tomorrow night, and I would like to entertain questions and answers, general discussion about the Mississippi campaign for those who want to join. 8 o'clock, no, 7 o'clock, 7:15 tomorrow night. I just want to entertain some of the questions and clarify some things on the Mississippi campaign tomorrow night. If that's possible, you brothers can join me if you want. I just want to do that.
My pleasure, sir.
Yeah. So I just want to entertain some questions, and we want to just want to clarify some things. And see, for me, it's easy for me to say, I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know. This is way bigger than me. I don't know. I can't know it all. But what I do know is that this foundation that we're building, if we build from there, is strong and it can work. It can hold the building up once we start building on top of it. It can work. That's what I do know. I know that. The rest of it, I need your brains power. Because my brain by itself is not going to get the job done. If you're depending on my brain, we might as well just stay where we at. A happy, comfortable, feral slave. Because it's not going to happen. But with our brain's power, we can get this job done. So on that note, as our soul brother Don Cornelius used to always say as in parting, I wish us love, peace, and so till tomorrow night, y'all. Peace.
Peace, sir.
And we're